stand right there. So you might just want to stand back. Just step back. Yeah, you might want to just like step back off to the side. She'll be over there and sing. Okay. Then you come back up and do you have that program that I sent you? Or do you need it? Okay, great. So then you do your welcome. And then you introduce. Good. And then you'll introduce Linda Ramirez, who's sitting right there. Do you know Linda? Okay, she's in the glasses with the red shirt. And then when she comes up, after you introduce her, you should just like step out.
Change it. What's the best way to do it?
Is
that a pen?
It's a pencil.
There's an issue with somebody who claims they had sees but don't have it or whatever. I'm just telling them to like say. Maybe when you supervise or somebody else with multiple seats, but she only has one seat for her and everybody else is somewhere else. There's a general public seats.
We have like 4 reserve sides for CDM.
Oh yeah, no, there's not.
People must have taken it.
Gee, and that's what I thought.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Our program will begin in 5 minutes. Thank you. please welcome Chairman of the Onondaga County Legislature, Ryan McMahon.
Thank you and good evening. Please rise for our national anthem, which will be sung by Andrea Moore. It benefits and enroll at one of our partner agencies, the Salvation Army. Andrea?
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through her pale still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Thank you, Andrea, for a great performance. And thank you, everyone, for coming tonight to hear our County Executive, Joanie Mahoney, deliver her State of the County address. I'm Ryan McMahon, Chairman of the Onondaga County Legislature, and I would like to thank the County Executive for asking me to kick things off tonight. It was just about a decade ago when I used to go to Lemoyne College and roam these halls, and my professors would tell you I learned a lot, and my friends would tell you that I played too much, and I'm proud to report that they were both accurate in both those assessments. The first few months of this year have been very productive at the county legislature. We've been dealing with the tough issues facing our county. For example, the way the furniture is laid out in the legislative chambers. I want to thank our architect, Mark Stanzik, for bringing up this issue. In all seriousness, I do want to thank my colleagues for their willingness to address the challenges of our day in county government. We've talked about mandate relief, pension reform, economic development, and property tax relief. I believe we have a very strong Mahoney to work with us to transform our county and our region, and I look forward to working together with the county executive.
and they continue to champion efforts aimed at sustainable environmental stewardship. More than half of our alumni choose to reside within an hour of our campus to live, work, and serve their communities. And we are thrilled that so many of our graduates are so deeply embedded within the fabric of the region where we are located. While we are a young Catholic Jesuit college, we are part of an intellectual tradition. Most recent addition to our outstanding faculty is the former director of the Vatican Observatory, George Coyne, a Jesuit priest who is one of the world's preeminent astronomers and physicists and has gained international notoriety for his expertise on the relationship between religious dogma and scientific knowledge. At Lemoyne, our curricula reaffirms the eloquence of the early 20th century scholar W.E.B. Du Bois, who wrote, "I insist that the object of all true education is not to make men carpenters. It is to make carpenters men." Interestingly, Du Bois' sentiments are education that cultivates problem-solving skills, requires critical thinking, hones quantitative reasoning, and demands ethical behavior rather than hyper-specialized training that may quickly become obsolete. The Mahoney family enjoys of the city of Atlanta. Thank you for allowing us to host this event. Without further ado, podium our executive, Joanie Mahoney. Thank you.
Very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Good evening. It's nice to I am pleased to be here with you once again to deliver the annual State of the County Address. Thank you to Lemoyne College President Fred Costello for hosting us tonight. President Costello has done an excellent job since becoming Lemoyne's 13th president 4 years ago. In addition to welcoming record-breaking freshman classes, he's guiding a major expansion. Not only is the new science building applying cutting-edge science and technology, it's also being built in a manner which reflects Lemoyne's commitment to the community in which it lives. It's on track to earn a gold-level LEED certification. Congratulations, President Costello and the entire Lemoyne community. Also joining us tonight from Lemoyne is Lemoyne College Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Linda Lemura, whom you've already heard from. Dr. Lemura is only the second provost in the history of Lemoyne College. She is highly respected and very active in our community. Linda, we are grateful for all that you do. I would like to welcome my fellow countywide elected officials, Sheriff Kevin Walsh, District Attorney Bill Fitzpatrick, Comptroller Bob Antonacci, and County Clerk Ann Sharpelli. Tonight is a milestone for Ann Sharpelli. After serving 16 years as our county clerk, Ann has announced that she will retire at the end of the year. Thank you for your service, Ann. You will be missed, and I wish you and Tony all the best in your retirement. Our Comptroller, Bob Antonacci, is here. Bob, congratulations to you as you begin your second term. It's been a pleasure to work with you on behalf of the taxpayers of Onondaga County. I have at times been very impressed by the level of detail with which Bob can work. With $1 billion being spent annually in our county, no detail is too small to draw Bob's attention. As I stand here tonight, I can assure the taxpayers of Onondaga County that your tax dollars are very carefully watched and are safe in the capable hands of our Comptroller, Bob Antonacci. Nice work, Bob. I appreciate that Mayor Stephanie Miner from Syracuse has come tonight with her team. There is not likely an elected official in our region who has more on her plate than Mayor Miner. When I think my job is tough, I need only look down Montgomery Street to put things in perspective. As the mayor of the hub of the whole region, Stephanie tackles the daunting issues of education, public safety, and an antique infrastructure with fewer and fewer resources. Our whole community is lucky to have a bright, brave, and capable woman working for us each and every day. Thank you, Mayor Miner. There are also people representing our state legislators, members of the Syracuse Common Council, elected officials from towns and villages, and superintendents from our school districts here tonight, and I'd like to thank all of you for joining us as well. It is, however, to the Onondaga County Legislature that I officially deliver 2012's State of the County. Welcome to the 17 members of our county legislature. As you know, the legislature is smaller this year and there are more new faces than usual. I'd like to take a moment to introduce the members of the legislature. As I do so, I'd like to ask that you stand up and remain standing as I call your names. Brian May, John Doherty, Bill Meyer, Judy Tassone, Kathy Rapp, Mike Plachaki, Danny Liedka, Chris Ryan, Kevin Holmquist, Dave Knapp, Derek Shepard, Casey Jordan, Monica Williams, and Linda Irvin. In addition, legislators Pat Kilmartin, who I understand is celebrating a birthday today, and Mark Stanzik have been selected as floor leaders, and for the first time ever, a new member, Ryan McMahon, has been chosen as chairman of the legislature. Welcome to all of the members of the Onondaga County Legislature. As I reflect on my first term, I am proud of what we have all accomplished together. When I delivered my first State of the County in 2008, the horizon was very different. No one anticipated the devastating impact of the financial collapse that would occur later that year. The collapse put serious strains on the finances of every layer of government, and it seems as if I spent most of my first term managing a crisis. Now, with what we hope is the worst behind us, we are poised to emerge from this crisis stronger than when we entered it. Onondaga County is a leaner, more efficient, and nimble government. Very few municipal governments can say that they have a better credit rating in 2012 than they did in 2008. Onondaga County is one of those governments, and it's because we all worked together and put smart policies in place when we needed to. We didn't simply put our heads down and hope for better days. We looked forward and made difficult decisions. We cut spending, reduced the size of our government, made Onondaga County government more efficient, elevated transparency, and we moved our county forward. Cooperation and compromise between the executive and legislative side, while not always easy, delivered the leadership our residents deserve. The members of the legislature, both current and past, have my admiration for the role that they played during this difficult time. At the same time that we were making government more lean, we were also keeping an eye on our friends and neighbors who were struggling, and we ensured that we met our obligations to those in our community who were in need. Cutting programs was not an easy thing to do, but by drawing parameters around food, safety, and shelter, we ensured that our dwindling resources would be available to those who were in the most critical need. By making those decisions and by trying always to do things in a better and smarter way, we were able to be there for many more of our neighbors without spending any more money. In some cases, we saw double-digit increases in the number of people using our programs, and we met the need without expanding the size of our county government. Wise decisions, strong leadership, and creative solutions were found all across county government. Our county employees continue to impress me day after day, and I thank them for all they have done. As our recovery continues, it's also important to recognize a big reason that our county continues to thrive. For 20 years, County Executive Nick Pirro led our community with a steady hand and a careful eye on the taxpayer's wallet. His administration created the base our financial recovery was built upon. It's important for us always to be mindful and grateful for the service provided by those who came before us. Thank you, Nick Pirro. As I mentioned, our bond rating is strong. For many years, we've delayed necessary capital projects, and this year we plan to do a lot to catch up. The low bond rating means that we can borrow the money to make the necessary improvements and pay low interest rates. Both county employees and outside contractors will be put to work this year undertaking $8 million in projects in our Parks Department, $20 million in facilities, and more than $100 million to continue the revitalization of Onondaga Lake. We're also working to reduce our operating costs by decreasing the amount of office space leased by the county and addressing long overdue improvements to aging trails and roadways in our county parks system. I'd like to thank the members of the legislature for approving these projects. There's never been a smarter time to borrow money to undertake these necessary projects, and at the same time, we're putting people in our community back to work. With the improvements in our park system comes great news that the county legislature voted last month to approve a new lease between the county and the Syracuse Chiefs. Deputy County Executive Bill Fisher and County Attorney Gordon Cuffey negotiated a much improved lease which will reduce the county's subsidy for the stadium, provide incentives to maximize the stadium's use, and most importantly, assure that professional baseball will be played in Onondaga County for years to come. I'd like to thank the Simone family, Bob Scallione, and the entire Chiefs organization for the work that they also did to make this possible. Staying on the topic of parks, some of you may have heard that Syracuse Jazz Fest has been evaluating new locations to host its festival. I am honored and privileged to announce to you tonight that Syracuse Jazz Fest has selected our very own Jamesville Beach to be the host for the 2012 festival. This is excellent news. Thank you to festival founder Frank Malfitano and Commissioner Bill Lansley for the work you've done in a very short time to make this a reality. I, for one, cannot wait for Jazz Fest. We have the good fortune of hosting Jazz Fest this year in part because of the combination of the incredible crowds drawn by Jazz Fest and the high demand for the SRC Arena at OCC. There is a lot going on at OCC. OCC's been ranked in the top 10% of community colleges by the Aspen Institute. OCC's enrollment has grown by 65% over the past decade, and fall 2011 enrollment reached an all-time high of more than 12,700 students. OCC is now the second largest undergraduate institution of higher education in Central New York. Congratulations to Dr. Debbie Saito and the OCC community as you celebrate 50 years of service to the citizens of Onondaga County and Central New York. And this was just an incredible year for Save the Rain under Deputy County Executive Matt Millay's leadership. It's hard to believe, but if we hadn't changed course, we would just now be finishing up the construction of a fourth sewage treatment plant in the city of Syracuse. Instead, we took the road less traveled, and the results have been nothing less than phenomenal. We committed to and exceeded advancing 50 green infrastructure projects last year, and by the end of 2012, we will already be halfway to our goal of capturing 250 million gallons of water per year by 2018. We are well ahead of schedule. We're continuing with an ambitious schedule for this year, and I encourage you to check the Save the Rain website during the year to watch these great projects. When we made the decision to move toward a more environmentally friendly solution to our stormwater problems, we did so for one simple reason. It was the right thing to do for our community. While the projects themselves have been exciting, the unintended consequences have been incredible. Onondaga County is now a national leader in the use of green infrastructure. Stories have been written, right? Stories have been written in Governing Magazine, Public Works Magazine, and Water, Environment, and Technology Magazine, among others. We were recently featured on a nationally broadcast PBS series called Designing Healthy Communities, and our story has been told in the widely circulated video series from the National Resources Defense Council called Rooftops to Rivers. Most importantly, the United States Environmental Protection Agency named us as one of its 10 green infrastructure partners in the United States. Without exaggeration, I can tell you that Onondaga County is playing a vital role in changing for the better the way things are done all across our country. It's just one example of the creativity our county employees show every single day. In our Emergency Communications Department, Commissioner Bill Bliley is working with our counterparts in Oswego, Madison, Cortland, and Cayuga counties to study the opportunities for consolidation of 911 services. Onondaga County's invested in state-of-the-art technology which can serve population beyond our borders. So it makes sense to see if there may be partnerships we can form in the interests of efficiency, and the 5 counties are doing just that. The smooth transition that we had when we consolidated the town of Skaneateles' 911 operation with ours has given us valuable perspective about how to move forward. I'd like to take a minute to recognize one of our public safety dispatchers. Todd Hall is the recipient of a 2011 American Red Cross Real Hero Award, which was presented in December. He was recognized for successfully guiding a caller and assisting her daughter through a delivery of her child. Congratulations, Todd, and thank you to you and all the talented staff at 911 for the great work that you do every day. In our Department of Social Services, under the excellent leadership of Commissioner Dave Setkoe, we are charged with doing some of the most important work county government does. We help those who need help. And again, our employees do what they do very well. Our Office of Temporary Assistance was recognized this past October as a food stamp hunger champion by the United States Department of Agriculture. They were recognized for the outreach and collaboration with community partners that allows Onondaga County to be a national leader in reaching low-income families who are eligible for food stamps. And sticking with our Department of Social Services, we are working hard to ensure children are growing up in a safe and healthy environment. We've made a number of investments in the child welfare system, such as our new OnCare system of care. Our efforts have resulted in a 45% decrease in foster care placement since 2005 and a 43% decrease in foster children living in highly intensive, high-cost institutional care since 2006. These decreases are far exceeding state averages. And these programs dovetail smoothly with our commitment to say yes to education. Say Yes is an all-encompassing effort that puts the necessary support pieces in place to assist children in successfully completing school. Keeping our children with permanent, supportive families improves academic outcomes. We've partnered with the Huntington Family Center, and together we're accomplishing this in dramatic fashion. For reasons such as academics, attendance, family, or medical, school children are referred to Huntington's Family Support Program. In 2011 alone, 342 families, which included 1,038 children, were referred to and served by the Family Support Program. We have seen great results. 96% of those served reported progress. 99% reported that the services helped connect them to needed supports. And since the program's inception 4 years ago, only 3 children have been directed to out-of-home placement. Helping create an environment where families can stay together is critical to helping children achieve academic success and reach their full potential. In the area of juvenile justice, we've saved $2.2 million over the last 4 years implementing a new policy which shifts from a focus on detaining youth who pose no public safety risk to one with enhanced community-based services that provide better outcomes. Onondaga County's approach caught the attention of Governor Cuomo, who proposed similar reform for the whole New York State juvenile justice system. Our leadership role has resulted in additional funding from the state to provide supervision, keep our communities safe, and offer the services that children need. Governor Cuomo's proposed budget for this year takes statewide reform even further, and we look forward to continuing our work in this area. Also, under the leadership of Deputy County Executive Ann Rooney, a team of county employees has made significant progress in our discussions with Upstate Medical University regarding Van Dyne Home and Hospital. We are very lucky in our community to have a visionary leader like Upstate President and CEO Dr. David Smith. David is someone who sees the possibilities of what a teaching hospital can be and who has succeeded in bringing his vision to reality. Not surprisingly, a transaction of this magnitude involves complex negotiation among many entities. We are approaching the end of the negotiations with Upstate, and I'm optimistic that we will have good news to announce in the near future. In 2011, Onondaga County continued fulfilling its commitment to the men and women who have served our country. When veterans come home to Onondaga County, retired Marine Lieutenant Colonel Bob McLean and our Veteran Services Agency are there to provide support. This past year, we assisted in a cooperative effort among Syracuse Habitat for Humanity, National Grid, and the VA Medical Center on a new partnership that's helping veterans in need. These organizations worked with the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development on an agreement that will create opportunities for homeless and low-income veterans to purchase homes. Syracuse Habitat for Humanity is close to completing the first 2 specially adapted affordable houses on Syracuse's west side for veterans. This is the first Habitat project of this kind in New York State and one of only a few in the entire country. It's the right thing to do and will allow people who fought for America to achieve the American dream of homeownership. I am happy to report to you that the city-county purchasing consolidation is complete and it is paying dividends. In addition to adding interested towns and villages, Purchasing Director Sean Carroll is exploring the possibility of including additional school districts as well as fire departments. Looking back on the decades-long debate surrounding a combined purchasing operation and now witnessing its smooth transition and resulting benefits should encourage all of us to continue to find ways to work together. Thank you, Sean, for the hard work that you have done to move us forward. citizens of Onondaga County should be very proud of the high level of service provided by county employees day in and day out. I thank them every day for the good work that they do. Despite all of the great work that we are doing locally, we are still tremendously affected by what happens in state government. As you have heard me say many times before, state mandates take every single dollar that we collect in county property taxes. There is reason, though, this year to be cautiously optimistic. Long derided as the most dysfunctional legislature in the country, the change in Albany in the last year has been dramatic. Governor Andrew Cuomo came into office and he got results in his first year. The members of the Assembly and Senate heeded his call to put politics aside and get this state moving again. They worked across the aisle and delivered an on-time budget that actually spent less money than the year before. It was truly impressive and much appreciated by all of us who are charged with managing municipalities in New York State. This year, the governor is continuing to help. He has once again proposed a budget that closes the deficit and is balanced. But more importantly, he kept his word about state mandates. The governor promised that last year's property tax cap was only the first step and that mandate relief would come next. We took the governor at his word and have been very relieved to see real, concrete mandate relief in his budget. The governor proposed a 3-year phased state takeover of Medicaid growth, a change which would save Onondaga County nearly $500,000 in the first year alone. Over 5 years, the savings would exceed $23 million. That is real relief for property taxpayers and a great start to the mandate relief that we so desperately need. Governor Cuomo is also proposing a new tier to the state pension system. It is very important to note that the proposed Tier 6 would have no effect on current public employees whatsoever, but it will reduce the cost to county government for new employees. In 2008, our pension bill was just over $15 million. In 2012, our pension bill will be more than $39 million, which equates to a 156% increase in the past 5 years alone. Our taxpayers cannot keep up with the cost of pensions, and changes have to be made. To understand the magnitude of the expense, consider that over $37 billion was paid into the New York State Pension Fund last year. To be clear, that's $37 billion for just 1 year. If we were to send a bill to every man, woman, and child in New York State for their share, you would each receive a bill for $1,944 to pay for public pensions in 2012. I encourage our state representatives to please support the governor as he tries to bring property tax relief to our property taxpayers. During a time when there's gridlock in Washington and we see the change in Albany, we are very encouraged. There's a tendency with politics for people to focus on the negative, so it's important to acknowledge how quickly our state government is changing how it works. Last year's session was the most successful in modern history, and this year's session can continue the momentum. Locally, our 2012 budget sets the property tax levy at $148 million, and with the costs for state mandates at $175 million, we are becoming even more reliant on sales tax revenues. Last year was a better year for sales tax receipts. The infusion of tax dollars from our visitors on the bowling tour, combined with a gradually improving economy, is moving us in the right direction. While we might find some relief in the improving sales tax receipts, it's important to keep in perspective the severity of the economic downturn that we've endured. The 2011 sales tax receipts are encouraging, but they are just now surpassing the 2008 levels. As you can see on the screens, the trajectory of our sales tax revenues has been significantly altered by the downturn, and tens of millions of dollars in sales tax revenue is forever lost. These lost revenues are why we've had some of the most difficult budgets in the history of Onondaga County. While our department heads and our budget departments have done a very good job finding ways to make us more efficient, there are still difficult budgets ahead. Our early projections put the 2013 budget gap at about $20 million. As a result, I'd like to announce the creation of an interdisciplinary task force to help close future structural budget gaps. Our employees have the best working knowledge of county government and are best positioned to help us find additional innovative approaches to lower our costs. I'm pleased, too, that County Legislators Danny Liedka and Mike Plachocki will join this task force, and I expect their recommendations in July as we compile the 2013 budget proposal. As I begin my second term, I'll continue to support the framework we have built around working together to make things better. I think you'll be pleased to hear about the progress we've made on some of the policies we've been working on. This summer, we'll unveil a final draft of a new sustainable development plan for Onondaga County. We have had a thorough and thoughtful public process to develop a plan for our community. We can no longer accept sprawl without population growth, and we must focus on reinvestment and rehabilitation. Don Jordan, Megan Costa, and our whole planning team have worked very hard and are putting an excellent plan together which will ensure that we make smarter growth decisions. Good land use planning helps to preserve natural areas, improve air and water quality, create walkable communities, support transit, reduce energy usage, and improve livability for our residents. Our land use patterns and infrastructure investments play a big role in how sustainable we can be as a region. We know we're stronger when we work together as a region on tough issues like sprawl, and we must have the policies in place to encourage cooperation. With flat population, growth in one town will mean vacancies in another town. Policies that pit us against each other don't always serve us well as a region. It's with that in mind that I would like to propose a new program designed to support sustainable development. Our new Sustainability Pays initiative will recognize the fact that we are one region and we will rise or fall together. We must be thoughtful about how we go forward as a community and as a region if we're going to be competitive and succeed. Onondaga County will do its part and continue to expand the cooperation and vision for Central New York. I'll look forward to sharing more details with you as we put our budget together this fall. Part of our effort to support sustainability includes recognizing the tremendous asset we have in our local farm community. Agriculture in Onondaga County is a $137 million per year industry. It makes good business sense to create an environment where farmland protection, local food production, and preservation of our rural landscape are key elements of our planning effort. I am creating the Onondaga County Agriculture Council to ensure that county government works to promote and preserve Onondaga County's strong farming tradition. The council will work to strengthen and enhance connections between our urban and suburban core to rural agricultural areas, and it will work with government to review, improve, and develop pro-agriculture, farming-friendly practices that will make it more likely for our local farmers to stay in business. I am pleased that legislator Dave Knapp has agreed to co-chair the new council. Thank you, Dave. And all of this will be supported by the new local law passed by this legislature, which creates the Greater Syracuse Property Development Corporation. After the Common Council votes, we will then ask New York State to approve our application to form the Land Bank Corporation. The tools made available by forming a land bank corporation will allow Onondaga County to work with the private sector to redevelop abandoned and vacant properties to return them to the tax rolls. And due to the cooperation between the mayor, the Syracuse Common Council, the Onondaga County Legislature, and my office, we expect Onondaga counties to be the first land bank corporation established in New York State. It is these types of policies which will result in real growth and economic opportunity for all of us. When we cut the cost of government and support smart land use, we set the stage for our local businesses to succeed. Central New York has been lauded statewide as an example of cooperation. Our governments are working together, and our governments are supporting our employers. That cooperation is paying dividends. One of the best examples we have of what happens when we work together is the success of the Central New York Regional Economic Development Council. Led by Syracuse University Chancellor Nancy Cantor and Center State CEO President Rob Simpson, people from Onondaga, Cayuga, Cortland, Madison, and Oswego counties came together and worked at an incredibly challenging pace to create a great proposal for the statewide competition. It was impressive to see the way everyone focused on the success of the region and not simply their own turf. Everyone came together to do their part to create the best plan, and it worked. When the results were announced, Central New York was awarded $103.7 million, the highest of any regional council to fund more than 74 projects. It is a welcome investment from the governor and one that will truly make a difference. You can see the signs of success because there are more and more every day. Things are improving. In fact, according to Center State CEO's website, our region ranks number 1 as the most affordable place to live. It's number 4 among the best. Hang on one second, sorry. It's number 4 among the best places to raise a family, one of the top 10 healthiest cities, and one of America's top 25 green cities. And the list goes on. We have much to be proud of and much to look forward to. In closing, it's worth noting that we're emerging from a national economic crisis of almost unprecedented proportions. It is perhaps well to ask where we are as a region and where we are headed. During my first campaign in 2007, I would ask people where they thought our region was headed and what we could do better. It was surprising how many people talked about cranes and the fact that they didn't see any in Syracuse. Cranes. When people were given an opportunity to evaluate our progress as a community, they counted the cranes to do so. Cranes don't just pop up because government wants them to. Cranes are used when government creates policies that provide opportunities for others to succeed. The cranes are a result of responsible actions by government, but they're also a symbol of progress, economic growth, and prosperity. Today, the landscape in Onondaga County is dotted with cranes in the sky. Thank you to everyone who has helped make that possible. And perhaps most importantly, before I leave, go SU. Thank you. Good luck to the Syracuse University basketball team. Thanks for a great season. Thank all of you for coming. Have a safe drive home and a pleasant evening. Hey, man. Thanks. Hello, hello, hello. Hello. Yeah, thanks, Phil. Nice job. Happy birthday. Yeah, thank you. Birthday. How are you? Very good. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Good job.
Yeah, I got that number for you.
Okay, good.